Welcome back. Welcome back to the Own It Masterclass. We are here on day 2, Own Your Thoughts to Rewire Your Brain for Success. This masterclass is all about owning your mind so you can create life and business by design. So just a reminder, little rules for our event this week. We're only allowed to entertain the thoughts that make us feel good. The thoughts, feelings, and actions that allow us to get what we desire and keep us in inspired action, instead of pulling us away and being in fear, worry, and doubt. So yesterday we talked about being on our hero's journey or being in our victim story. And this week is all about owning your hero's journey. So I want to congratulate each and every one of you who are live here in the Zoom room and owning that hero's journey. And if you're catching this on Facebook, you're going to want to make sure you register and come join us live. We're catching the replays. The replays are up all of the month of October. So you can go to ownitempire.com/own it and make sure that you're registered so you can access the workbook, the replays, your free vision casting call, our daily prize giveaway, and more. Plus, this week we're live every day, Monday to Friday, except Thursdays is not recorded. This is our session on action. It's our Own It it's our Own It Collective, and it's an open house masterminding session. And so that's not recorded or casted. So the only way you can participate in that is actually being live with us here in the Zoom room on Thursday. And so yesterday we went through ideas and owning our awareness. That is step 1 in goal achievement and manifesting. Today is step 2, owning your thoughts. The thing is, we win or lose in the mind first, and your thoughts are creating your reality. And we're going to talk a lot more about that today. 111. I love that, Judy. Beautiful. Perfect frequency for us to be in. So tomorrow is my favorite session to teach. It's all about creating a winning self-image. And so first step in manifesting is owning your new ideas. Second is thoughts and owning your thoughts. The third is planning. Now we can plan until the cows come home, and yet if we don't embody the person that's required to achieve the goal, nothing matters. So tomorrow we're actually planning our new winning self-images. So yesterday we talked about having an internal set point. You currently have an image of yourself that is your own upper limit and glass ceiling. And tomorrow we're going to rewrite that. And so it's my favorite lesson to do because I love watching people step into that new character and being a conscious co-creator instead of living life by conditioning and default. Thursday is step 4, action. So we talked about it. Some people never generate new ideas, and their ideas, even if they do have ideas, their ideas and dreams stay inside of them. Some people might get into the thought phase, and then guess what? Their thoughts take them out, and they never even put a plan in place. Some people will get into planning, and they'll stay there, and they just keep planning different ways, and they never take action. The magic is in the doing. And so only in the doing can we figure out what works and what doesn't work, and can we get to truly where we want to be. Friday is the 5th session. This is our bonus belief session, and it's also our bonus heart-led sales session. So not only are we going to teach you the art of sales, we are going to sell you on your dream. We are going to help you build your belief in yourself and what's possible. So ideas, thought, plan, action, and belief. These are the 5 keys to manifesting and goal achievement. And all week long, we are teaching you NLP techniques to be able to use these over and over again and continually create life by design. So yesterday, we created a new awareness all about how the mind works. And now you guys know exactly how to change. And we asked you to make a decision, to burn the boats, to decide and commit and succeed. And so we asked you to pick one personal goal and one professional goal. And then we asked you to take the top 3 desires that you would like to achieve for the rest of this year and write them down. So that's exactly how we're kicking off today's session. And you're probably wondering, why am I doing this again? Well, guess what? Remember I said when you write it down daily, you're 25% more likely to achieve it. And when you write it down daily, you'll actually 40% more likely to do it quicker. So who doesn't want to achieve what they desire and do it quicker? And then if you decide and burn the boats and know there is no plan B, this is the only plan, you are 90% more likely to achieve it. And so I want you to take a moment and what are those top 3 desires and write them down. And while you're writing down these incredible top 3 desires, we want to teach you what intentional gratitude is. And so this is my favorite exercise that you can use to get out of any negative situation. Guess what? Everything that is in our life is an accumulation of where our thoughts, feelings, and actions have been previously. And so, well, that's interesting. That thought it already was recording. All right. Oh, technology. And so when we think about owning our mind and living life by design, we want to know that our mind thinks in pictures and it comes to pass. Environment is but our looking glass. So the environment, your reality, your results is simply a looking glass of where your thoughts, feelings, and actions have been previously. No make wrong, everything is perfect, whole, and complete, and nothing is good or bad or right or wrong except for what you make it. And so what we want to do is start to observe the areas of our life or business where we would like to see improvement and change and growth. And one of the only ways we can do that is get out of the victim story in those areas of our life and switch to a state of possibility and gratitude. So you're going to pick 3 areas of your life and business that you would like to see a change. And then you're going to write out an intentional gratitude. What can you be grateful for about this experience? Until you change your energy around that experience, that relationship, nothing changes because we're either being grateful or we're complaining, and we can't do the both at the same time. And so once you've written out your top 3 desires for the rest of this year and brought it onto the forefront of your mind, you're going to pick 3 intentional gratitudes, 3 areas of your life and business you would like to see improvement. And you're going to write something that you're grateful for about it. And this is available to you anytime. So if you catch yourself at any time in complaining, blame, fear, worry, or doubt, you can switch to a state of gratitude, harvest the good, and forget the rest. Every single thought is a choice. And you get to choose which side of the coin you want to be on, positivity and possibility, or fear, worry, and doubt, on the hero's journey or in the victim's story. And guess what? You get to do that all day long. It never ends, and it's the same process every time. So Bob Proctor was one of my mentors, and when I had just achieved a goal and I was going for an even bigger one, I asked him, like, how do I make this easier, Bob? There has to be a way that this gets easier. And he laughed and he said, there is no magical secret. Transformation and change is the same process every time. And I said, so we just get comfortable being uncomfortable? And we had a really good, hard laugh about it. So yes, we want to start getting comfortable being uncomfortable. Because if you are comfortable, there's no more growth for you there. And your best life lies outside your comfort zone. And so I want you today we're going to look at different areas of our life where we've got comfortable and complacent and things maybe aren't exactly what we desire. And we're going to use the 4-part NLP reframing exercise to change and improve that. And I want you really to start to think about what we decided on yesterday. So as soon as you created a new idea, and if you missed yesterday, that's okay. what you decided on are those top 3 desires. And so you may already know what they are. Maybe you're still working on them. Regardless of what it is, as soon as you decide to go get a goal, the voices in the head start to go crazy. So let's talk about what they are. There's 3 key voices in your head. There's your ego, there's your higher self, and there's your personality. So we talked about yesterday that your unconscious mind is running the show, and it is the goal getter, and it's either going to help you get the goal, or we're going to begin to self-sabotage so that we don't get the goal because we don't believe it's possible for us. And so your personality is the conditioning, the belief system that you are given via the model of the world you grew up in. So you have your personality, and this is your belief system. This is the first voice. Then you have your second voice. This is your ego. Your ego's job is to keep you safe and to keep you the same. And so yesterday, when you decided on your goal, it might have started to get really loud and start to tell you all the ways it can't work, all the ways it's going to be hard, all the what ifs might have started happening, all the shoulda, woulda, couldas. And what it's going to do is just keep you safe and the same. And this is where most people lose. They throw in the towel. One, they haven't decided. They're 1 foot in and 1 foot out. I'll do it if. It's never going to happen. We need both feet in, fully committed. And the second is they're riding that thought train. One moment they're like, I'm doing it. It's going to be amazing. The next moment they're like, it's impossible. It's too hard. I can't do it. And if that has been happening for you, perfect. Welcome to the putrefaction process. This is what we talked about yesterday, and the less fancy name for it is the transformation process. So if you are catching your thoughts that are flipping back and forth between the positive and negative, that's because you've started to move towards your goals, and your ego is going to try to keep you the same. So what I need you to listen to is the third voice, your higher self. Your higher self doesn't come in with emotion. Okay, so that's one of the easiest ways you can tell the 3 voices apart. It comes in as a knowing. There's no emotion attached to it. And what we want to do is start listening to this higher self. Deep in your unconscious mind, there is a blueprint of the perfect version of you. Perfect health, happiness, and wealth. And then through the model of the world you grew up in, a personality was put on top of it. And then the ego on top of that. And what we need to do is start to break down the negative ego and the personality and limiting beliefs so that higher self can actually surface. And so today we're going to begin to rewire the brain and own our thoughts so that we can begin to be observers of the personality and the ego and not get involved with those thoughts. So let me say that again, because this information will change your life. The mind is always going to be going, and you get to choose if you will observe and then decide what you prefer, or if you want to jump into that river and entertain the ego and the limiting beliefs. And how do we know? Because that is the thoughts that are not going to make us feel good. Okay, so remember yesterday we said you can always reach for a better feeling thought. So your job throughout this entire masterclass is to squash the ego, to squash the personality. And in fact, I encourage that you give those voices a name. So mine is Sally, and Sally gets really loud when I'm going for a goal. And Sally's pretty mean. I would not be friends with Sally. And yet we let them run the show. If a friend spoke to us like that, well, what if? That's never going to happen. That's going to be hard. You're not good enough. You wouldn't be friends with that. And often we're our own worst critic. And so what we want to do is identify the feelings that come up when those voices get loud in our mind and cancel them, just observe them. And then we're going to learn to focus on what we prefer. So the first part of reframing is observing the contrast. So that ego, the limiting beliefs, the personality, and instead deciding what you prefer. That's it. That's the first step. That is an incredible gift. The voice said, it's going to be really hard. And instead, I'd really prefer it to be smooth and easy. So what's the contrast and what do you prefer? And I want you to start to think about, yesterday we asked you, what do you think is in your way and has stopped you from getting this goal before? That's going to start to tell you what some of the limiting beliefs are that you have. It's going to take a long time. I'm not smart enough. I don't know enough people. So we're either in possibility or excuses, reasons, and alibis. And what we need to do is hear what has us stopped. That's the contrast. Amazing. Now we can focus on what we prefer. If you didn't know what cold was, you wouldn't know what hot was. If you didn't know what sadness was, you wouldn't know what happiness is. Without the darkness, we wouldn't know what light is. And so in your mind, there will always be contrasts. And you get to be grateful for the contrast because it's showing you what you prefer. So that's our first step in our 4-part reframing exercise. So I want you to take a moment and ask yourself. So we are on page 13. What is your current operating system telling you that's not working for you? And I want you to pick one area of life and one area of business. And if there's lots, you just go ahead and write them all down. I would love, though, at least one personally and one professionally. So maybe personally, you've been working on getting in shape and you keep getting closer to the goal and then you stop being consistent. That's a contrast. And what you'd really prefer is to be consistent with your movement and your food and nutrition so that you can achieve your goal. Maybe it's in business. Maybe you have been playing small and being shy and not truly putting yourself out there and building the brand awareness and asking people to work with you because whatever insert the limiting belief is. I know for me, one of them is it's going to be a lot of work. And that was conditioned to me from the moment I decided I wanted to be a business owner. I was 17 and I told my dad, I've decided I'm going to own a gym. I want to help people be healthy and be fit. And I love exercising. I'd been an athlete my whole life. I said, I'm going to be a trainer. Didn't even know it was a possibility. My fitness instructor introduced me to it. And his first response was, that's wonderful, Heather. And owning your own business is really hard. So 17, insert belief and personality. Sure, you could be a business owner, but just so you know, it's going to be really, really hard. So ask me what the first decade of my business looked like. It was really, really hard because that's just how the operating system works. I used to work 7 days a week, 18-hour days. 3 businesses, 3 contracts. I volunteered for Landmark. I was a coach at the Self-Expression and Leadership Program. I coached 5 people there. And I was recovering from concussions and disc injuries. And I literally had no more time to trade for money. I was following what was the hard route because that's what I believed. And when I learned that there could be something else, something I could prefer, for business to be a little bit more fun, a little bit more joyful, a little bit smoother, to be able to earn more and actually work less. I didn't think that was possible. Let me say that again, to earn more and work less. I didn't believe it was possible at that time. And now I know, where are we? 4, 5, 6, 7, almost 8 years later, that it is a possibility. So I get to work when I want, how I want from my computer, anywhere globally, with anyone globally. I used to see clients all over Toronto. Sometimes I'd be in my car for 3 to 5 hours a day. I learned a lot because I listened to audiobooks, yet that's not where I wanted to be. Imagine how many more people I could serve and so much more that I could do with an extra 5 hours a day, and maybe not do more, just actually be a human being instead of a human doing. And so now life is totally different. And this is what's possible for you if you're willing to be the observer, see the contrast, and decide what you would prefer. And so the second part you're going to jot down there is, what would you prefer? So first, what is your current operating system telling you that's not working for you? For me, it was like, business has to be really hard. That's not fun. And what I would prefer is it to be smooth and easy, and to work less and earn more and increase my impact. Previously, my impact was limited. I only worked one-to-one. And I was actually turning away clients because I literally had no more time to trade. Now I get to do one-to-one and one-to-many, and I only work with about 3 to 8 one-on-one clients at a time. And everyone else gets to work with us in our group programs. And the ripple effect and the impact that I've been able to have, not to mention almost doubling my revenue, has been incredible. And so this is what's available for you if you do the work. And so some of you are sitting there feeling quite uncomfortable. Welcome to living your best life and living outside your comfort zone. And the first is really owning those thoughts and owning your own transformation process. And sometimes you got to look a little deeper. So I want you to be willing to go deep, like what's really not working. Don't play surface. No one's going to read your workbook unless you want them to. It's just you. So what really, truly isn't working? And what would you really prefer? And when you decide on what you prefer, don't let the limiting belief in the ego pull you out. You're going to observe that contrast. And I want you to allow yourself to dream. When you get to that point of possibility, I want you to dream and write down truly what you prefer. Now, as you know, I am NLP, timeline therapy, and hypnotherapy trained. And in our rapid breakthroughs, or through our mastery mentorship, we do something called timeline therapy. Timeline therapy is a tool that we use to access your unconscious mind, to actually change that personality and those limiting beliefs. It is scientifically proven to change your neurology in 3 to 5 days. And I know for me that it has been life-changing. And so when we do this, we actually figure out what is the belief, what is the root cause, then we go in your timeline and we switch the belief. And before we can switch the belief, we actually have to get what are called the positive learnings. So each one of these areas of your life that are not working, there is a lesson there for you to learn. And if you don't learn the lesson, guess what? You get to do it over and over again. So are we ready to learn the lessons and get out of the trauma cycles and the loops and the habitual unconscious thinking and getting the same results over and over again? So the 4 parts, the first is, what is the contrast? The second is, what do you prefer? And the third is, what do you need to learn from the experience? So go ahead and drop in the chat for us. What is one contrast and one thing you would prefer? And why you guys are doing that, I want you to start to think about, what is there for you to learn from this experience? So what did I learn from that experience? Well, one, I was constantly in burnout mode. Like, I laugh because literally I lived off like a gallon of caffeine a day. It was unhealthy. It put me in absolute burnout mode. I had tremors all the time because my nervous system was absolutely at max capacity. And what I learned was that was not sustainable. And that was not a quality of life I truly wanted to live. And I also learned that my impact was limited if I stayed in a one-to-one only model, because I literally only had so much time a day I could trade. And I also learned that my income was limited because, again, I only had so much time a day I could trade. And so these are the amazing things that I get to learn from the experience so that I can create something new. So what do you need to learn? So contrast, not enough money. And so here's what I want you to start to understand. Some of these beliefs were not given to you. Maybe you grew up in an environment where people talked about money from a lack perspective. And that's what was conditioned in your unconscious mind. And so it's okay for you to let that go now. And so what you would prefer is more than enough money, a divine surplus. Andrea is my timeline therapy practitioner. Her and I do an exchange every month, and I am hers. And one of the affirmations that we like to do is we live in abundance and excess. And I can say that with so much love and gratitude, where before I would have felt bad, wrong, guilty, and shameful, because part of my conditioning was I should never ask for more than I need. But yet you came here to be creator gods and all that you desire. And you came to learn how to master manifesting in the physical. And that means to do, be, and have and create whatever it is you truly desire, not what you were conditioned to believe. So struggling to see the lesson in that. Well, one of the lessons is that maybe you can break this cycle for you and your family and for your children and for the generations to come. And so what you learned is that actually living with more than enough money is more fun. You get to have more freedom and more choices. You get to give more. You have the ability to take care of yourself and your family and provide for others. And so it doesn't have to be like this horrible negative thing that you learned. It could just be like, I learned, I don't like that. That could be it. Like, no. Almost never sleeping and living off coffee. I learned I didn't like that because it didn't feel good all the time. So it doesn't have to be huge. Awesome. I grew up hearing family members saying they didn't have enough money or simply don't have. My dad's favorite saying, I don't have any money. And I'm like, Jesus, you have access to money. You have money. You have homes. You have cars. Like, you got it. Yet his conditioning, because they grew up quite poor, 6 children. Father was in the war, mother maintaining the whole family. Eldest brother had to go live with the aunt because the mom literally couldn't afford to feed them all. They got to wear the shoes that their older brother wore, even if the shoes were too small for them, which means some of them have crunched up toes. There was holes in their shoes and they wore bags around them. They didn't get new shoes. They didn't have winter jackets. Their mom sewed them, knitted them all sweaters. So that's their conditioning. And then the grandparents' conditioning even harder because they grew up during the war times. And so this is some of the conditionings and beliefs that you have, that you've been given, that it's time to release. So that's not your story, and it doesn't have to be your story yet. 98% of your thoughts, feelings, actions are unconscious and habitual based off that programming. And so today we're going to rewire the brain for success. And you're going to use the principle of auto-suggestion, the spaced repetition of an idea or thought over time. It is one of the key principles from the book Think and Grow Rich that will help you begin to reprogram your mind. You read it, you write it, you see it daily, you can put it on post-it notes. I am enough. I always have more than enough. Money comes to me in increasing quantities through multiple sources on a continual basis. I'm so grateful for all the money that I earn, receive, and have and get to be a steward for, because it gives me a life of freedom and choices and allows me to give more. These are the new beliefs we want to start to ingrain. And so this could be the learning that you prefer that instead of what the conditioning is. Contrast, I'm too tired. Prefer to feel energized and inspired. I love it. The lesson is I'm happier when I have all the energy to do all the things I want to do. Yes, absolutely love it. Isn't life better when we feel good? I love that. And so the fourth part is to harvest something amazing affirmations. Thank you so much. Obviously, I read and write them and say them often enough. I know them off by heart. Awesome. And so now let's find something we can be grateful for about this situation. And sometimes this can be a little bit hard for some people when you're trying to harvest the gratitude around like even an extremely traumatic experience. Sometimes the gratitude is that I'm so grateful that I learned what the contrast is so I could decide what I prefer. And what we want to do is start to change the energy and the emotions around the beliefs and the experiences, because it is the beliefs and the thoughts and the experiences that have the most and strongest emotions associated with them that get ingrained into the unconscious mind. And if it got ingrained with a negative emotion, we need to switch that to a state of gratitude. So you know what? I'm really glad that my dad said that, and I'm grateful for that because what that had me do was learn how to be a really hard worker. And that has allowed me to get to be where I am today. And now I'm learning to work smarter and not harder. And I'm really glad that I knew what that contrast was before, so that as I grow from a 6 to 7 figure level, I don't make myself a slave to my business. That's what I'm really grateful for. That experience showed me quite a contrast, and now I know what I prefer. And so the 4 parts are: first, what is the contrast? So this is what we do not prefer. This is going to start to show us where our limiting beliefs and our personality are showing up for us. The second is what you prefer. And all day long, contrasts will be presented to you. And so you're going to look at the contrast and then decide what you prefer. Look at the contrast, decide what you prefer. Then you're going to ask, what do I need to learn from this experience so I can stop living it over and over again? We live in patterns. You operate unconsciously, habitually in patterns. So start to look for the patterns in your life that need to be changed. And you're going to decide what you prefer and what you need to learn from them. And the 4th part is, what can you be grateful for about this experience so that you can begin to rewrite that unconscious mind and put a new emotion in with it. And so the what you prefer is your new affirmations. So let's see a new affirmation from each and every one of you. I'd love for you to drop it in the chat. What do you prefer? And we do have a special guest, so give us about 5 more minutes and then we'll bring you on. And we want to talk, each day I teach 3 key principles. So now that you have the exercise, let's talk about the 3 NLP principles that are going to help you with this. So while you're jotting your new affirmations in the chat, let's dive into what those 3 key principles are. So your perception creates your reality, and what you are perceiving often is habitually unconscious. So I want you to start asking yourself, what does it mean to be in control of your inner world, regardless of the external world and external circumstances? It means to work with the law of cause and effect. So write that down. To be in control of your inner world, regardless of everything else, means to own it with the law of cause and effect, the law of all laws. And this is what our whole company's name is based off of, to own it with the law of cause and effect. So there will always be a cause and there will always be an effect. Now, if you are taking full ownership, you are going to understand that you are the cause and your life and your results are the effect. Most people will never take responsibility and they will instead be at cause in blame, fear, shame, worry, and doubt, saying it's not my fault, it's the economies. There's no power there. You're giving your power away. It's not my fault, it's because my mother, insert whatever. There's no power there. You're giving your power away. So one of the number 1 key principles in NLP is we will be the cause instead of at cause. We will take ownership over everything. And when we do that and have a solution-oriented mindset, we can now start to change the effect and the results. And so you're going to begin to be the cause and take full responsibility and start getting a new effect, instead of being on the victim story and being at cause and being in blame, shame, fear, worry, and doubt. Yes, I want to see that in the chat. I am the cause. Let's make a declaration. And you have to remind yourself all day, every day, when things come up, you want to have a pity party and you want to give your power away and we want to be in blame and shame, because sometimes that can feel easier in the moment. And then I need you to bring yourself back and decide, I'm going to be the cause. I can change my life. I can change my results. I am in control. I'm a conscious co-creator, and I get to create my reality and my perception. And when I choose the perception that is in alignment with my highest good and the achievement of my goal, I can change my reality. And so the first thing you're going to do is start to be the cause and work with the law of cause and effect. So number 2, why is language you choose to describe your reality so important? So something happens. This is what we call the stimulus. And then you give it a meaning. Let me say that again. Something happens. This is the stimulus. And then you gave it a meaning. And that created your reality. And the only way we can give things meaning is through language. And so in the book, The Course in Miracles, which is one of my favorites, if anyone is interested, it's also on Audible. It teaches this principle. Everything just is what it is. And then we give it a meaning, and that creates our reality. And so what language are you going to choose to describe the experience? Is it going to be from being the cause and taking ownership? Or is it going to be from being at cause and being on our victim story? And so there's the stimulus, whatever happened, a client said, or a past client or a prospect said, maybe a prospect said no, okay? And then you get to give it a meaning. Maybe they're not ready for the transformation. Maybe it actually would have been painful to work with them because I would have been dragging them along because they weren't actually ready for it. And so that's going to be the language I choose to describe the experience. And I'm going to support them. And if and when they're ready, I would be the person that would be happy to help them on their transformation and evolution journey. What most people will do is give it a meaning of I'm not good enough, making it mean something about you. And then we go into the victim story and we're giving our power away. And so what I want you to start to do is be the cause, observe the experience. There's so much magic in a pause. Pause and observe your thoughts. Then decide what you would prefer. And then choose the language from a positive connotation of how you would describe the reality, because that's how you're going to perceive it. One of the super cool exercises that we did in our human potential and performance class is called the awareness test. And I'm just going to ruin it for you and tell you so we can do it quickly. They ask you to how many passes the team in the white shirt does. And so because you're focused on that, you don't even see someone in a costume, in a moonwalking bear costume. And he moonwalks across the entire basketball court and nobody sees him. Because where our focus is, energy goes. And where we are focused, your mind is actually going to take in this information and delete, distort, and generalize anything else that's not in alignment with our focus. So if we are being at cause and things are happening in our reality and we're on our victim story, then guess what? The brain is going to start to filter all the things that will back up that story. Or we could be at cause and we could focus on what we prefer, and the brain can delete all the things that the victim story is in alignment with and start to show you all the things that are going to move you closer to owning that story. So you get to decide every day where your focus is. So this whole masterclass, we're keeping our mind in possibility. So a reminder just for today. May you be in possibility. May you expect magic and miracles. And may you continually look and ask for what's the best that can happen and be in a state of gratitude. And the final part for this is, why is it important to expect the best? So this is the law of observation. So I won't go into the quantum physics of it all. And we do know that if we, what we expect is what we will observe. Okay, so your expectations are creating your reality. Let's go into the physics of it. So they take a particle. We know that the particles actually collapse into matter when they are observed. And when they're not observed, they are light. Everything is light. And so when we observe the particle, it behaves in a different way because we expect it to. And so I want you to imagine everything in your life is energy. Everything is vibrating at a certain frequency, even this table. And what we expect of our reality, we will get. So why is it important to expect the best? Because you will get what you expect. You are interacting with the universal laws and with energy and with your mind. And so we ask you to begin to start to use the observer effect in your highest interest instead of against you. So what if just for today, you expected magic and miracles? What if just for today? And you only entertained the what ifs of possibility instead of the what ifs of fear and doubt. Your life and your reality will actually begin to shift and change. Okay, so quick recap. 4-part reframing exercise. You're going to look at the contrast, then decide what you prefer. You're going to get what you need to learn from the experience, and then you're going to find something to be grateful for about it. You're going to begin to work with the law of cause and effect and take ownership and take your power back. There is no power in blame and shame. You're going to begin to choose the language from the positive side of the coin to describe your reality because it's creating it. Everything just is what it is, and then we give it a meaning. Nothing's good or bad, right or wrong, except for what you make it, and life is meaningless and empty, except for the meaning that you give to it. Because everything just is what it is, then you give it a meaning, and that creates your reality. And last but not least, you're going to actually begin to expect what you desire. Unfortunately, we are conditioned via society to think less of ourselves, to constantly look for what's not working. I was talking with somebody on the weekend, and we were talking about all the craziness that's going on in the world. And I said, okay, let's talk about good news. And he was like, is there any good news? And I thought, well, shouldn't we look for it and expect it? Because then we're going to help create it. And so I want you to understand that society is not really designing you and conditioning you to look on the positive side of the coin and expect the best. And just imagine if you did, what could be available for you. So you're going to begin to expect the best and work with the universal laws. And so we're going to continue with the homework. So we are going to continue to, 1, observe our thoughts. And now, instead of just switching to a state of gratitude, you're actually going to start to reframe your thoughts. And in order to do this today and for the rest of the week, it's going to require you to be present. It's going to require you to be here in the now. That's gone. And the now is gone. And the now is gone. Right here in the now. And only in the now can you have the awareness of what is going on in our head. So we're going to observe those thoughts, and we're going to start to reframe them now. And then you're going to focus on your new affirmations of what it is that you prefer. Yes, always have to do a detox after watching the news, right? Like go hug a few trees. I only look at the news every once in a while. I say I do my deep dive of research just to see what's going on in the world. And again, if I observe that negativity, I'm actually putting more energy and consciously co-creating it in the world. So I don't even want to observe it, to be honest. I do my research to stay in the know, excuse me. And then I just know that I know it, and I come back into the now and focus on what I prefer. As we grew up, we were not allowed to watch the news. That was not allowed in our house. Absolutely not. I've been conditioned to focus on the positive and what we expect for a very long time. And so maybe watching the news isn't even required. Maybe we are going to start to create our own news and actually start to consciously co-create the reality that the entire world gets to live in. It's just going to require a large group of us to start to focus on what we prefer and peace and heaven on earth instead. And so I want to thank you for your time and energy today. Yeah, Judy says, I haven't watched the news now for over 10 years. I love it because it's honestly not designed to make you feel good, I promise you. It's actually meant to keep you in a fear state, a fight or flight state, where your prefrontal cortex actually turns off, where you can't make decisions, you can't think for yourself, and to become a mindless sheep. If that's what you're going for, awesome. And if you actually want to be a conscious co-creator, work with the universal laws and create life by design, then you've got to own your mind and be very conscious of what you allow into it. Amazing. So that's your homework for today. You're going to continue to observe it, and then you're going to decide what you prefer. You're going to complete the workbook. And if you haven't gone live in the Facebook group yet, the Own It Collective, that was part of your homework yesterday, to go live, introduce yourself, and share a little bit more about yourself and what it is that you're looking to achieve. And so reminder, come back tomorrow. We have the winning self-image. Thursday, we have the open house mastermind session. And on Friday, we have our heart-led sales. And on Tuesday, the 15th, we have the final session, which is our bonus recap session. And for some of you, we've already been talking, and I know that you are looking for a level up to continue the transformation, to keep the momentum going. If you are interested, I would like to invite you to stay and listen to the opportunity and to listen to one of our incredible guests who's been working with us, and she's going to share her experience. If you feel like you've got all you need from today, then that's amazing. We'll see you back tomorrow. And I would like to help you and invite you to keep the momentum going and come and work with us inside the Own It Collective. The Own It Collective is a 6-month group coaching program where we help you own your mind and live life and business by design. We work on self-mastery and business mastery. Amazing, Amanda. Yeah, we'll see you on your vision casting call. And what we want to do is actually work on you and not just your business, because we know that you are your upper limit in your business. And we want to help you build your dream business around your dream life and not the other way around. So I will tell you a little bit more about what it looks like to work inside the Own It Collective and our incredible sign-up bonuses and fast action bonuses. And we are going to have Ren come on. Ren is incredible. She has been working with us for over a year, and I won't say anymore. I will just bring her to the forefront. So come on up, Ren.
Hi, beauties. I'm Ren.
Hi, Ren. We're so glad that you're here. Please introduce yourself.
Of course. Lovely to see everyone. I'm Ren. Hello, world. I'm a yoga teacher and a DJ and a wellness curator. And I'm on a mission to transform the way we connect with ourselves, with each other, and the world around us. I do that through mindful movement, meditation, and music, and I craft experiences for personal discovery, connection, and transformation. I offer yoga classes, skull massages, and a sober social. And I'm just here to offer more than wellness. I want to normalize holistic entertainment wellness choices and to live and inspire a journey of conscious connection and celebration. That's me.
I love it. Amazing. So beautiful. And Ren's actually in our Own It Collective and has done the rapid breakthrough. So I do just want to share that we do have a special sign-up bonus for until Friday only. That when you sign up for the Own It Collective and pay in full, the first 3 people are not only going to get the October sign-up bonuses of the 2 coaching calls, you're actually going to get the rapid breakthrough, which is a gift from me. So the first 3 who pay in full will actually get to do the rapid breakthrough along with the Own It Collective. And so I will tell you guys more about that. And I just thought I'd bring that up because Ren has also done it. So perhaps she could share a little bit about it as well.
That's amazing. Yeah, ask me anything about it. What do you want to know?
Well, first of all, like, how's your experience been working with us and the Own It Collective?
Okay. Well, before I joined the program, what I was doing everything I loved. I had discovered my passions, but I was doing it on a very small scale. I was playing it very small, very safe. And I was actually very close to kind of giving up building a life around these passions. I felt discouraged and disenchanted, and I was just ready to go corporate and just call it a day and kind of get back on the conveyor belt. That was me before I crossed paths with Heather.
And now where
And
are you?
and now where I am, oh my gosh. Okay. So I'm in the program. I joined last October, so it's almost nearly a year, and
10
I
days away.
almost
October
to
18th.
the,
I know the date. I know the date you joined and started with
yes,
us.
and it started okay. The biggest thing was understanding that how to do positive self-speak. I didn't realize how much of how much I was in my head and how negatively I was speaking to myself, and the not only you kind of know that that's bad, but just the impact of that. Like, I couldn't imagine, I couldn't access my intuition, my imagination. And we used to do these exercises where Heather would kind of be like, put yourself in your dream shopping list. What are you dreaming about? What do you, and I could not reach that space. And understanding what that was about. So just really understanding how to dismantle negative self-speak is the biggest win of for me from this program.
I
Just
love it.
my mental space.
Dismantling limiting beliefs and self-talk. I love that.
Yeah.
Love it. And what do you think was your biggest breakthrough after the rapid breakthrough?
The biggest breakthrough, okay, the rapid breakthrough was something I was becoming very curious about, because as I go through the masterclass, the work is amazing. I joined the collective, work is amazing. I'm finding all my all my like beliefs, limiting beliefs, negative self-speak coming up, and I'm like, what is the cause of this? Where has this gone? Like how, like how am I gonna do this? And the breakthrough, as much as I intellectualized it and I was really trying to like get underneath it and like really be like do it really perfectly, I just kind of had to let that experience wash over me and understand, like accessing my unconscious mind guided really well through the breakthrough. I realized to really let go of what fear, anger, shame, um, sadness, guilt, things that they're very heavy, they're very invisible things in yourself that you don't realize. You can maybe understand that you have them or you can experience them, but you just don't know how to let it go. And let it go fast. I always thought it would be like years of therapy or something. So rapid breakthrough for me was literally rapid, and it's not anything that you can try to inject in just experience just through your mind. It becomes like a whole body experience. And then actually feeling that space empty up and clear up was nothing short of a miracle, I would say, for me mentally. Like I just kept on saying, I'm so light. Like I don't think about like this is not there anymore. And it just made so much room for what needed to be there, which was celebration, joy, activation. Yeah, a lot of good things came in after that got let go of. Yeah, I love that.
I love it. And my favorite thing about doing rapid breakthrough with my clients is seeing them truly embody that full version of themselves and let go of those negative emotions that are holding them down. And we clear your top key limiting belief and really see you start to live a life of peace and ease and really begin to more confidently embody that best and highest version of you. And I have for sure 150% seen that with you. And I'm so proud of you. You're doing amazing. And you're just getting started. Imagine another 9 years from this, 10 years of mastery of where you'll be. The 10 years are going to pass anyways. Don't we want to own it by design? And so that's exactly what Ren is doing. And I'm super proud of you.
Thank you.
What do you think is different? And what's your biggest win so far since working in the Own It Collective?
Okay, biggest win is I learned to the importance of language and self-speak. There's this thing that I used to do, blah blah blah, but blah blah blah, and like insert like everything that I was going through like badly like during my day. She would be Heather would go ask me something, and it would always be like, oh, this was my, this is my, I was in my victim story, like, to be honest, like that's how we are gonna call it. And then she would just go, cancel next. And like, I'm like, oh my God, but she was teaching me this like the frequency of your words, if it connects to attract, like bringing things towards you. So as I like really learned that and practiced it, I neutralized my negativity. I reestablished my connection to my imagination. My positive self-image started to really feel authentic. And I learned boundary setting, which was huge. The whole of last year, I've been working with boundary setting, which just had so much to do with everything and everything that I needed to learn. I learned accountability, and just support through like perceived obstacles and imposter syndromes, fatigue, like physical and mental. And just learning how to celebrate yourself was also a big part of my win, because I wouldn't celebrate myself and there was just no joy. There wasn't that cycle of life was just very weird for me. Like I would do a lot and then just like be like perfectionist and then try to do more, and like it was just going nowhere. So I learned the cycle, and now it feels like a more holistic living for me.
I love that. I love that one of your wins is the joy that has been brought into your life. And I'm so happy because, guys, if you're going to live, don't you want to be happy, healthy, and wealthy? And the first is really finding that joy and loving ourselves and being able to celebrate ourselves. And so I love that you share that some of your wins so far. And what do you think is the most important thing that you've learned and implemented that's made the biggest impact for yourself?
Habit tracker, right? Habit tracker, she gives you that free, like right away. She's like, habit tracker. Okay, I was doing habit trackers before, but understanding the biggest impact was habit tracker. Second was to do the cancel next whenever you have a negative thought, to understand your awareness about certain things. The importance of language was huge for me, just the way I was speaking. And I'm a positive person, but and I love to talk just like Heather, and I just realized I could do a lot for others, but I just could not do that for myself. So the importance of the language of how I speak to myself was being taught to me, and I think that's the biggest language lesson that I will ever gain and always will gain being in this collective.
I love that you share that. Bob Proctor would share a similar story when he started working with his mentor. He said he thought he was a really grateful person until his mentor said, "You always have a headache. You're always sick. There's always something you're complaining about. Like, are you really living in possibility and gratitude? If you were, you wouldn't always be on that victim story." And so even Bob was thinking, like, I'm such a good, positive person, and it's really only in the pausing that we can start to see that more than 51% of the thoughts are often on the negative side. And there's no make wrong, guys. We're conditioned to be that way, right? Like, how many times did you hear no as a child? No, you can't. No, you can't. Plus, I mean, the media and everything. And so I love that you say that that was one of your biggest transformations, is really to be more of a grateful and joyful person. And Bob Proctor, that was one of his wins as well. And sometimes it takes a community and a mentor to help you be able to see that and really practice being in the presence and the observer of our thoughts instead of constantly being involved in the ones that don't make us feel good.
I
I
agree. And especially for people who are empaths, energy workers, just giving, just learning how to give to yourself first. I don't think I ever learned that lesson in life before, like this journey. Like bless all my teachers and mentors and guides, but really like learning how to prioritize your health and wellness was mentally, like I know how to do it physically, but the mental part was, yeah, it made sense in this journey for me. Like now I do it, I know what it looks like, I know how different it was from last October. Yeah.
And that is so important because, guys, we can't pour from an empty cup. It's one of my favorite sayings. So many of us are caregivers in so many ways, and we're always out to serve, 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 and we can't pour from an empty cup. And that's how I try to run my business for a long time, and it's not sustainable. So we learn to put ourselves, our faith, and our family first, and then we build our dream business around that. And we can show up within the business as our best and higher self with a full cup overflowing instead of trying to find the drops left in our cup to serve others, right? So making sure that that full cup is there first. I love it, Ren. And what is your advice to our listeners wondering if the Own It Collective is for them?
My advice is to do the free masterclass. It is so the free work that Heather gives is wealth. You know, you invest yourself, do them, really get into the workbook, print it, do the Gmail, the G file copy, anything, because they're so high value, and it's a great gauge to understand if you resonate with Heather's interpretation of life and the world. And as your guide, like if you resonate with it like the way I did, I really value language so highly, and she was speaking and embodying it, and then also it was in her books. So for me, it was just do the free masterclass, really take your time with it. Secondly, it would be to, once you're like in it and you're thinking about that, just take time to listen to yourself and evaluate your current state and obstacles. Like just really be like, hey, what am I going through? Where am I at? What has worked? What has not worked? Who's around me that can help and support this transformation journey? Do I have somebody? Do I need somebody? And then just be willing to say yes and reach out. Just be like, hey, I'm thinking about this, and just start a conversation. Maybe the journey doesn't continue with Heather, but it starts with you. Your journey is started. And in yoga, we have this first adage that goes, when you're ready, the teacher will show up. So that's all it is. Like, just get yourself to a space where you're listening to yourself, you're understanding where it is you want to be, and you're feeling these things, and see and just reach out and just like ask and see, like, hey, I'm thinking about this, I don't know. And then also after all of that, be quiet, be still, and be ready to receive solutions, because they will come. And I had a lot of questions, I had a lot of obstacles. Everything was an obstacle to me last year, and I did these steps. Everything was free. I invested in myself the time, and I received all the solutions, like everything, all the solutions, money, time, energy, everything. It all showed up as a solution for me. So this was meant for me.
Oh, Ren, you're amazing. I absolutely love it and I love you. So, guys, this may or may not be for you, and that's totally okay. And the only way we're going to truly know is if we hop on a call and actually figure it out. And if you already know, then you can go right ahead and get yourself registered. And if you have questions, I'm here to answer them for you. And if you stay solution oriented as Ren did, all the solutions will show up for you to be able to work with us if that's what's in your highest interest and what you truly desire. So is there anything else you wanted to add today, Ren?
Let me see. I would like to say, adaptation, adoption of new beliefs is a journey. Be gentle with yourself, but be so curious, and just want more for yourself. Like, just accessing my imagination, my intuition have been such little progressive steps that I would say to my like last October self, I'm like, it's okay to ask for a coach. Like, it's okay to get into a program and ask the world for this. You may not have it in your family, you may not have it supportive relations with this stuff, but it doesn't mean that you don't deserve it and that you can't have it. So yeah, that's what I would say.
I love it. Thank you so much for your time and energy today, Ren, and may you keep owning it in every way, every day.
Thank you, Heather. Thank
You're
you, everyone.
welcome. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you so much, Ren. What an incredible, beautiful soul. And so I just want to show you what our special offers are for you guys today. It is my gift to you. And so when you sign up today and you pay in full, actually, let's start fresh. So when you sign up for the month of October and you pay in full, you're going to get 6 months to our Success Principles Society. This is our 6 core self-mastery lessons that everybody studies, as well as two 90-minute private one-on-one coaching calls with me, a value of $1,200. And the first 3 people who pay in full by 7 p.m. Eastern on Friday will also get the rapid breakthrough with me, which is a value of almost $1,500. So when you're putting that together, that's over $3,000. And the price of the program is $3,330. So when you're paying in full, these are my gifts to you to ensure we help set you up for success. And of course, we have a monthly payment plan of $555 per month. And when you're signing up on the payment plan this month, you're also going to get our Success Principles Society, as well as two 45-minute coaching calls with me, a value of $600. We will use one to kick off to make sure we set you up for success, as well as one that you can use anytime within the program. And the first 5 people who sign up on the payment plan by 7 p.m. on Friday are going to get 2 bonus calls with me. And these are 2 75-minute bonus calls with me, which is the value of over $1,000. So that is almost $2,000 in gifts when you're joining on the payment plan this week before the end of our live sessions. And just a reminder, we do have weekly live group coaching sessions. Our Kajabi library, which has previous lessons in it. I'm trying to think now. It's got to be like over 60 lessons. We go through sales and serving, marketing and branding, operations and development, and research, as well as self-mastery, working with energy, working with the mind, and so much more. Of course, you're going to get access to those Success Principles Society lessons to study on your own. And with that is a monthly co-working mastermind session to get help. And so let's talk about what these 6 core lessons are. We have Own Your Vision, because all successful people are pulled forward by their vision. Then we teach you the Quantum Leap Blueprint, where you can design your own goal and reverse engineer your plan. We teach you the deeper understanding of the unconscious mind and how to own it by design. We help you create that winning self-image and put together a self-image script that you will use to auto-suggest to your new unconscious mind. And we teach you the high performance habits and building out, it's the little mundane things that we do every day that compound over time. And we teach you the holistic health and wellness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And we teach you to fill your cup so you can overflow. We have our VIP Facebook community that has years worth of resources and book club studies. So you can go ahead and read the Think and Grow Rich book along with me when I was reading it and teaching it from my own perspectives and everything that Bob taught me. And you can go ahead right into our VIP Facebook group and access those. There are downloadable audio lessons and workbooks that you can access so that you have them forever. And that is the value of $337. Plus, of course, we have the full sign-up bonuses and the full payment plan bonuses. So when you're signing up and you're paying in full and you're doing it this week, you're going to get the rapid breakthrough plus 2 90-minute sessions. And the rapid breakthrough is 3 calls. And one of them is a couple of hours where we will do the timeline therapy. So you're going to get 5 one-on-one coaching calls with me when you pay in full before the end of the week. And when you're joining on the payment plan with us, you're going to get the 2 45-minute. And if you're one of the first 5 that sign up before Friday, you're also going to get 2 75 minutes. So that's 4 calls. So we'll do 1 to kick us off and then 1 to use bi-monthly throughout the program. And so this is just you and I one-on-one coaching. And this is to help support you to ensure you're successful along the way. And this is my gift to you. And so I just want to dare you to bet on you. I want to dare you to invest in you. I want to dare you to believe in yourself and dream bigger and play bigger. So these are my gifts to you. And if it's not for you, that's totally okay too. And I still want you to come back tomorrow. We are going to design our winning self-image. On Thursday, we have the open house mastermind session. Again, it's not recorded, only happening here in the Zoom room. On Friday, we have our bonus heart-led sales session and going through building our belief. And next week, we have the bonus recap session on the 15th. So all the same time, 1 p.m. Eastern, and same bat channel, so same Zoom link. And just a reminder, if you're registered, you've been gifted a free 15-minute vision casting call. This is for us to expand on your vision, as well as guide you through a guided visualization of your goal achieved. So if you haven't booked that yet, that is a value of over $100, and you're going to want to go ahead and book that right now because we don't have a whole lot of spots left in our calendar, as I am redoing the NLP timeline therapy and hypnotherapy course next week. So I am off for a week. And so you're going to want to make sure you get in that calendar as soon as possible because there's only a few spots left. And so thank you guys so much for your time and your energy energy. It's the one thing you don't get back, and you chose to spend it with us. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And I will see you all back tomorrow. And just a reminder to embody it, to become it, own your mind to live life by design. And you can truly be, do, and have whatever your heart desires. You just have to believe in you, decide, and commit to succeed. So thank you very much. Remember, stay happy, healthy, wealthy, expect magic and miracles. And what is the best that can happen? We'll see you back tomorrow. Thank you.